Hey everyone, welcome to Bickering Book Reviews. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Becky.
And today we're talking about Dry by Neal Shusterman and his son, Jarrod Shusterman.
Mm-hmm.
I got this book from BEA where they signed it, so I'm so excited.
That's true.
Did you get an e-arc or anything like that?
I downloaded an e-arc, I think, off of Edelweiss, but I also got the arc at BEA.
Yeah, I didn't. I read it completely in print, which was awesome. Anyway, so it's set in the distant future where California has been experiencing some severe water issues. So lawmakers have enacted these policies where people can't fill up pools, they can't water their lawns, and they can't own aquariums. But that wasn't enough because now they've run out of water. When you turn on the taps, nothing comes out. So, and they're basically calling it the tap out, and Alyssa lives in California during this time. Her and her family have just kind of been completely caught unawares, and so they're trying to figure out how they're going to survive. So they try to go find water at the local Costco, and there's nothing left. So it becomes very dire. When Alyssa's parents disappear on their journey to kind of find water, she enlists her next-door neighbor, survivalist next-door neighbor's help, Kelton, and they kind of journey through, and as problems continue to arise, because anything that can go wrong does. So as problems arise, they kind of journey further together, and they meet other people who are potentially friends, and they all are going to have to work together if they're going to survive this tap out.
So you basically hit on my problem with this book. So Neal Shusterman's Unwind is actually the summer reading for the school district where I work at the public library. And I think the reason Unwind works is because as you're reading it, you're like, everything that happens, and as it happens, you're like, this could happen, this could happen.
I mean, it is probably my favorite book, because he even had peppered in those news articles in that book,
right? And then I felt like with this, the premise is, this could happen. I could see it happening.
Well, and it is happening in other parts of the world. It does happen.
And I could see California, or because they explain that they cut off the flow of the river and everything, and so that made sense. My problem with it is it happened really, everything that happened really fast. And I understand mob mentality, and I understand wanting to survive. But I felt like we went from, we are out of water to let's kill our neighbors way too fast. Plus, I got so frustrated because I'm reading this book, and the small group of teens that are trying to survive, everything that could possibly happen happened. It's every time they were almost, there's a point where they're they could almost have water, and then they meet crazy survivalists who try to rape her. And that was when they kind of lost me.
See, I think, I don't know, I enjoyed it, but I enjoy his work. This is my wheelhouse. I love end of the world scenarios. They're I always enjoy it. My only problem with this was also kind of how society devolves so quickly, but also because this premise can certainly be believable, I think there were certain parts that were kind of missed, and that made it difficult to kind of believe what was going on. As far as, where's all the fruit? You can get water from a variety of sources, not just the taps and not just from bottles of water. So, and they didn't really address it. And I'm assuming that, of course, if everybody's going to Costco and they're beating people up for water, they're probably taking the watermelons too.
But you're in California. Oranges,
So there were some pieces and parts that just weren't believable, and there were also some pieces and parts that were kind of interesting. There was a part where they talked about how there was a group of people finding water in cars because people use water sometimes instead of washer fluid.
Which I was just like, oh no, we don't do that.
Yeah, I
guess people do it. I could see people doing it.
But I could see people doing it too, especially in California where you don't have to worry about ice.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's true. You don't.
That's why washer fluid is super important, in Ohio.
Right. And I did like this book. I guess I feel like I automatically compared it to Unwind, and the characters weren't as well done.
See, and I wonder, have you read his Thunderhead series?
I have not.
So, and I wonder, now his Thunderhead series I didn't like nearly as much. it was the same and different as the Unwind series. Like, you could see, like, that it was written by the same author. I wonder if I have enough space from the Unwind series that I was able to kind of not compare them as much, because I definitely compared Thunderhead to Unwind.
See, and I haven't read Unwind in probably 6 or 7 years. Now, Thunderhead, though, he got Prince Honors for, right?
I think so.
Scythe, he got that. I don't know. Like I said, I mean, I could see it happening, and I think, to me, it feels like an action movie. And if I was watching an action movie, I'd have been like into it, and then it just gets to that point where you're like, and I'm done. And that's what I felt like with this. And this was a good book. I could see myself giving this book to kids, particularly the kids in my community love him because they've all read Unwind and they got hooked. Because I think it's required for 7th or 8th grade. But if there isn't going to be a second book because the story ends, but I wouldn't want to revisit this.
I don't know. I would, but I enjoy books like these. And I actually kind of want to, like, reserve my judgment until the physical, like, the actual book comes out. In that I think if he tweaks for me, if he tweaks a few things, like, this would be phenomenal. And it might happen. So that's kind of where I'm at. Why don't we start rating it? So our rating scale goes from 5 unicorns down to 2 unicorns. If we don't like it, it is a horse and doesn't get a horn. Where are you?
3. I mean, it's a solid book. It's entertaining. It would have been a 4 if it just hadn't kept going.
So I'm at a 3.5, but I'm gonna bump it up to a 4 just because it's Neal Shusterman and I kind of love his books. So he gets the Neal Shusterman horn.
And so that is where we are on Dry by Neal and Jarrod Shusterman.
All right, see you around.
Bye.